All right, here we go. We are on episode 2 of the Nagel Bear podcast here with Blake Griebenow, good friend of mine and fellow Afghan veteran. So we're excited to have him on the podcast today. So Blake, go ahead, give us a rundown on your career history / what brought you into the military, and then, stuff like that.
First off, this is fucking weird, and gonna roll with it.
Yeah.
All right, so born in 92, 16 years old. I was inspired by Black Hawk Down. Holy shit. I was going through a lot of family trouble, so that was like, I want to ditch my family and then create my own family.
Yeah.
And then seeing Black Hawk Down and like never giving up, never leaving anybody behind, and just the camaraderie, I was like, that's it. That's what I need in my life.
Yeah. So
2011, I joined, got done basic training. 2011, May 2nd, I was on a ruck march. Osama got killed. I remember that.
Oh, shit. So you were in basic in 11.
I was in basic when it happened. And I remember Libya was going on, and I was like, oh, shit, I'm going to fucking Libya. So that happened. I got stationed at Fort Drum, went to 187 Alpha Company, Gators, transferred to HHC for the Scout Platoon, was there for a while. I transferred to 287 because they were going to deploy. So went there, 287 Alpha Company, Blackfoot, deployed 2013, November, was a machine gunner, and then got back July 21st, 2014. I re-enlisted for Airborne, went up to 425 up in Alaska, 3509 Geronimo, got to rep the set. And then got out in 2017, joined the Guard, went to division headquarters, and I met you.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the
rundown of the career.
rundown of the career.
Yeah. Nice. So where were you at in Afghanistan?
I was in Logar province, so I was stationed out of Fobshank for the most part, and then I was out in Kop Baraki Barak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So like Shank was Rocket City,
Fucking
right?
Rocket City, yeah. And we were right next to the wasn't the Kraken, it was the Phalanx system.
Okay.
So in the middle of the night, fire mission.
Yeah.
Like getting woken up at like 2 a.m. like, what the fuck? Getting fucking mortared and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe 4 times a week, something like
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna say because I remember you talking about Shank, and I was like, I know as a contractor I want to say I was at Shank. There was like I went to a crap load of files my first contract, and that was I want to say it was one of them. I wish I could see pictures because I would like totally be like, oh yeah, I remember that spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that's pretty wild.
It's fucking abandoned now.
Yeah, it's all
fucking
abandoned.
crazy. Just ran that fucker into the ground, stealing everything that they could.
Yeah, ransacked it. Yeah. No. So when you guys were at Shank, but then you would operate out of into Logar, or what was that?
So the whole overall province was Logar, and the main base was Shank, and then that was next to I forget the name of the city, but we always called it PKS.
Okay.
So that was like the main city, and our company, Alpha Company, would get pushed out to Kop Baraki Barak, because SEAL Team 3 was there, and then we were the bitch guards during the winter, and we'd patrol with them like every once in a while.
Were you guys doing 9-month or 12-month pumps at that point?
9 month.
9 month?
Yeah,
Okay.
9 month. And then this is when we thought it was all winding down.
Yeah.
Like towards the end of our deployment, we were putting up concertina wire to like separate the Afghan side of Shank with the American side, because we were starting to turn over because we thought it was fucking done.
Dunskies, yeah. And then fucking...
Yeah, and we're still there fucking running and gunning.
I know, dude. Well, that was the crazy part, too, is I remember being there in 08, 09, and then going back as a contractor all those years. Like, and you're just like... And they were shutting down in 2010. We started the drawback then, and I was like... And I was just a contractor. I'm like, what? Fuck. So, like, all these FOBs that I'd been at, like, in the Marine Corps, like, 5 months earlier, are, like, shut down. Yeah. Like, they're getting shut down. Like, Korengal was the big news report in May of 2010. They're like, Korengal gets shut down, so all of that was gone. And it was like, you're like, holy shit, like, it's going to be over soon, or you would think, and it's not. Like,
we're still wheeling and dealing with the fucking Taliban, exchanging prisoners, the
Yeah.
prisoner exchange that just happened recently.
Oh, really? What was that one?
So we overturned It was two. I don't know if they were Americans, but they were teaching at the Afghan American University, and they were kidnapped in, I believe, 2013.
Oh, wow.
So it's two individuals from the college,
Yeah.
and we exchanged 3 prisoners.
Yeah.
One was like the nephew of some Taliban leader. Like, there are some fucking high up dudes.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was fucking just...
Well, that was the other thing, though, too, is I remember when every time they would release them, basically we smoke them.
Oh, yeah, they're dead like 4 months later.
Yeah, they're always getting smoked. They like know exactly where to track, or basically they're dead. Like it's like, oh, I'm free, and then like it's like always the same that we always end up smoking them later.
But this was like a pure Afghan deal because they're trying to
really?
get in because the Taliban doesn't give them any credit, but so the Afghan government, I guess, wants to build more credibility, so that it's a little bit more of a repertoire between them instead of us and the Taliban.
Oh, okay.
And they are just like the third party.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's it is what it is, I guess, at this point. But no, yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Well, it's like I remember when the Bergdahl. I always keep telling this story, but like when Bergdahl, I was in Afghanistan, and we were talking about that, and I was like, they were like, yeah, he was snatched up, and when the story came back. What was that, like maybe 2-3 years ago? Oh, I mean, it was the Obama administration.
Yeah, it was
so I was
Obama
like 15.
towards the end.
Yeah, it was like 2015 or something. Mm-hmm. And I remember like listening on the news, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like, Bergdahl's like, and then they were like 2009, and I'm like 2009, and there was all over the news, and they're like, yeah, he got basically they had held him prisoner since 2009, and I was like, oh, that's the guy. Like I didn't know his name, but I remember everybody's like, yeah, this and this, and then like immediately his platoon came out. Like it wasn't more than like 24 hours that his whole platoon was like, he was a piece of shit. He deserted the whole gamut. And I remember that because we were doing I was attached to Special Forces 10th group, and we were like planning an operation. We're like, okay, we're gonna do this. It was end of June, so it was like I had just got attached to him. We were trying to work some operations with the Afghans, so we like needed air support or whatever. I remember them just taking everything. We hadn't even started the operation or whatever we were doing, the mission planning phase, and they were like, yeah, all assets are snatched up right now. Everything's grounded, or not everything's grounded, but all assets are being poured into this area. And we're like, what? And immediately the SF guys were like, what the fuck happened? And I was like, hey, what's going on? They're like, yeah, some dude walked off post. And literally not even within like 12 to 24 hours, it came back again to us because we still couldn't do anything with the assets that we needed. And they were like, yeah, that guy fucking left his post. Like, so the SF guy's on ground. We're like, what? Like, I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, what kind of dumbass leaves his post? And like, they were trying to make, like, even then the SF guys were like, yeah, they're saying like, basically they were trying to find him, and then like I remember like they did get into some firefights here and there like throughout those next few months, and then that was it. That's all I knew of it. But I just remember right away they're like, nope, he deserted. And immediately in all our heads we're like, well then fuck that piece of shit. Because right away they told us like, oh, he got snatched from the squad, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, like do you need our help? Do you need more guns in the fight? What do you need? Like we're not even close to that wherever they were. But SF was help, like any assets were trying to help with that. And then as soon as like not even like I said 12, 24 hours, they're like, fuck that dude. He deserted. He's off. They don't know. He left his weapons. So basically, even in the military, they tried covering their ass. Something happened where they're like, oh, they got snatched up. Like the rumor had gotten to us that he was snatched up in a firefight in less than 12 hours. It was confirmed. In the military, in literally the like Lance Criminal Underground, like all that like underground shit
through the grapevine
of different soft units and marine elements, we found out like he wasn't snatched up, like and the whole thing was like wrong right away. And then and then I was like, okay, whatever, we left it because if it was like which makes sense because you think like if something like that happened and it was true, they had gotten into a battle, and it's like I feel like within that 48-hour time period, like the whole entire country would have been on lockdown.
Oh yeah, it would have been
what I mean?
Nuts.
Like it was the fact that he deserted. I think it just pittered out. Like they're like, oh, this kid didn't want to be found, and then because if somebody wanted to be found, or even if he was dead, we're going to recover the body. And especially in 2008, 2009, dude, like we would have leveled Afghanistan to find this guy.
Oh yeah.
And we all had that mentality. But as soon as we found out he was a deserter, he left his shit and he went to go talk to the Taliban. We were like, go fuck yourself.
Get fucking wrecked.
Get fucking wrecked, bro. Like then no, not happening.
No, it's not like when you fucking go AWOL and fucking have all your CIF in your fucking barracks room just tidied up for everybody.
So like you leave it at like you walk in and like you walk into your admin guy and like, hey, I'm out, bro.
Later, dude.
It's not even desertion. You're just like, I'm sick of the guard. You just fucking hand it in.
But it sucked because up in Alaska, I was 3509, and our sister battalion was 1501, and that was
that their
Bergdahl?
unit? Yeah.
But he was not airborne qualified or anything. He was not a paratrooper. He just got assigned to them for some reason.
Oh, okay.
So it was like there was a lot of weird things going on. Like this dude was just fucked.
Yeah. Which is like, you think about, that's kind of a crazy like POW status. Like nobody has a POW, and he's the only one that has it.
Yeah.
And like we knew that from the get go. And as soon as like that came out in 2015, like we got our boy back. Nobody was like, "That's not our fucking boy."
Yeah.
And like immediately the whole military turned on him. Like they're like, "You're getting charged." I don't even remember what ended up being. I don't know if he got charged with desertion. He ended up making his rank, and then he got his rank taken away.
Yep.
And then he got booted out with a dishonorable.
Something like that.
Yeah.
The last thing I heard was they found his ass in California at like some drug house when like there's a SWAT raid or something like that.
Really? Oh,
That's
okay.
the last thing I ever heard.
That's that Lance Criminal Underground rumor. So let's solidify rumor. He was found in a drug den, according to Blake Griebenow.
Possibly a fucking drug den. I don't know.
We heard it on the news. No, yeah, and so that's so crazy. Like to think about, well, that was 2015 now, but but Afghanistan in general, like you said, doing prisoner swaps and everything like that, that's very, it's, I mean, I don't know, man, like it's crazy we're still there, and it's like crazy that we could, I shouldn't say we could still deploy, because obviously we just came back from Kuwait.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Come on, Red Bulls.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah,
Fuck,
you would,
dude.
you'd be. Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'm down.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as an intel asset, I would be, and not as a fucking ground pounder. And then, well, I take that back. As a ground pounder, it would be cool, but again, this isn't 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. But yeah, especially with like the whole Pakistan relationship too. Like they snatched him up, and then they obviously it was an AQ Pakistan or something had him.
Probably.
But I remember I was hearing from dudes, and granted, this is all through the rumor, like friend of a friend through podcasts or whatever, like the intel pipeline. Or through our little civilian intel pipeline.
That's where the good shit is.
That's where the good shit. Yeah, that's where the like rumors get fucking thrown out there. They had actually known that Taliban was negotiating with him, and we refused to take him back.
That's
so at one
hilarious.
point the contractors or whoever, the intel assets, the contractor, whoever was like negotiating deals or knew they had the intel. Someone had intel where he was. Taliban was willing to work with it, and then we were like, we don't want him.
Somebody just wanted a PR win.
Yeah, and then they eventually worked it out and whatever. But well, that dude, he's a piece of shit. And got what's coming to him.
Hopefully they find him dead somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna be. I mean, his fucking life's ruined.
He's done skis.
Yeah, there's no book deals for him.
No,
nobody wants to touch him with a 10-foot pole.
He could maybe get one in Qatar.
What
book deal?
Oh, in Qatar. Yeah.
What's up, bud? What's up, really?
So, but yeah, I'm all right. So I'm going from that. So you've played the new Modern Warfare, correct? Yep. I've only made it through like the first 2 levels. I was like gonna play it through before we talked, but I was like, we just gotta fucking talk about it.
So the campaign,
the veterans, the campaign.
Fucking love.
Not so much we talk about multiplayer too, but the campaign. So I played the first 2 levels, and it was pretty dope, and that was the
So it's the first one's what are they going for? Like Ukraine. The Ukraine.
Oh yeah, that's right. Like, you start with
your MARSOC, and you keep on saying CIA. CIA, move forward.
Hey, CIA, move forward. Oh my god. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
Is that supposed to be based off Ukraine or what Russia?
Oh,
what Eastern Bloc?
They made it like, from my understand, they make it kind of like a Syrian conflict thing, but it's more like the storyline's supposed to be. It's supposed to be kind of like Syria, Ukraine. Like the Russians are involved. There's Russian advisors.
Because they steal the chemical weapons from a different country. Yeah. And then they bring it to the Syria representation country.
Something like that, yeah.
But I always thought that the first country was like Ukraine or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like Eastern Bloc.
Yeah, it's an Eastern Bloc. Russians are involved or whatever. Which is like, I always find that shit hilarious because I was like, oh, MARSOC. So you start playing, I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. Yeah. MARSOC's involved. I'm like, glad MARSOC's getting some love. Yeah. And then, because they always had Force Recon and Modern Warfare, and I don't know if they ever brought up MARSOC in the later ones, but I don't think they did. And so this is the first time I think MARSOC gets mentioned. Yeah. But yeah, so they were, and so they're like, and like the guys like, hey, CIA, and I was sitting there, I'm like, you got to be fucking shitting me. Yeah. Like, and I was like, I don't know who their technical advisors are, or even who their writers are.
Yeah. You gotta fix your shit, bud.
It doesn't take much for somebody to say. They don't ever say fucking CIA. They'll say something else, like your call sign or whoever, and then you can put CIA, GRS, whoever the fuck, as like when you put your little crosshairs on them, it shows who they are. Yeah, you know, and it always is like when you step into that realm, it's always.
I like the guy's mustache and like the little weird goatee, and then his shoulder pads. I was like, bro, you. Yeah, fix your shit, bud.
I know, and it's obviously a fucking video game.
Yeah,
But the whole aspect, though, it's kind of like
it's just that extra 10% that we.
Yeah, the extra 10%, like, is all you need is extra 10%. Like Modern Warfare, like the very first one,
Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Oh, so you love 4? Okay, I was talking about the OG.
Oh shit.
First Modern Warfare. I feel it was super accurate.
No, yeah, that was the first Modern Warfare. So it was under the title Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, the OG original. Yeah, you're right. Because it was a part of the and then it became its own little franchise. No, I always thought that was solid. Because it was almost like it was more realistic, if that makes sense.
That was a killer realism.
Like, it was way more realistic, like, on the aspect. I don't know. I just remember playing it and being like, oh, this is way more real. Yeah, at the end, it gets a little kind of squirrely. Yeah. But even then, you're kind of like, oh, okay, like, that's something that goes wrong. Like, you can make that a scenario. Yeah. Whereas, like, right out the gate, you're, like, in Eastern Bloc, Ukraine, or wherever it is, and they're like smoking dudes, calling in air assets. I'm like, if you call in an air asset into Ukraine right now, like we're doing stuff, and they're like, yeah, drop that. They end up bombing it or some shit. So they're like, they lays it, and it's like rocketing. It's like, dude, that would be all over the fucking news. Oh yeah. Like the one time they killed the 300 Russian contractors was all over the fucking news. Like we killed 300 mercenaries. Of our SF dudes did it. It hit the news, and then it, like, obviously Russia didn't do anything about it because they're not Russian troops. Yeah. And then, like, apparently there was some intel that came out too that they're saying that, like, they were misled, obviously, by the government, and it's like shocking that the U.S. or not the U.S. but the Russian government misled their own. You know, people, mercenaries. Yeah, shocking. You know, so yeah, turned them into cannon fodder because they like apparently some of the mercenaries that were on ground had like talked to some people on our side or something, or some messages got relayed that they were like, we didn't even know why we're doing it, why the hell we were going there. We knew it wasn't the right area, and they just got fucking wiped out.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for them in World War II. So I mean, some battle strategies never fucking die out.
I know, right? But so. I don't know. I like the. I feel like the Modern Warfare OG was real. Okay, they sent the Marines in, like the way they handled
after the nuclear bomb thing. Yeah, and then they make the task force. Then it gets a little bit.
Yeah, it gets a little squirrely. Yeah, but like it was cool because it you could be like, oh, that could happen. Oh, like, fuck yeah. Like that's what we do with like Iran right now is we're trying to make sure they don't get a bomb. Yeah. So it's kind of like they sent the Marines in. They did some things. Then they exit out. It made sense. Like, oh, a Marine recon unit going in via helicopter to snatch some stuff up and to get out, like totally with a company or two that a battalion size element is totally feasible. Oh yeah, and then a nuclear bomb going off and it being a disaster is kind of feasible.
Absolutely feasible.
But like. You know, and even like, but then like the SAS, even like the Piccadilly Circus in the new one.
Yeah, the Piccadilly one was good. Yeah. In the original one, the boat, when they seize that boat, it's like the first mission. And then they go into like the Connex, and then they find the nuclear material. Oh yeah. That was totally like in the fucking zone.
And SAS do that. I mean, like that just happened recently, and on the we were just there, the Gulf.
Kuwait,
the Kuwait Gulf area.
Yeah, like Oman or Yemen.
Well, yeah. Remember, the SAS. Remember, they were on the boat waiting for the Iranians to like try to seize the ship or something like that. But like, and they seized the ship. Like the SAS seized another. It was whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
There's a lot of fucking weird shit going on.
But like that happens. Like that can totally happen, and all that stuff totally was like made sense. Yeah. So. It's kind of like it was. I shouldn't say it was super exaggerated realism, but you still felt it was somewhat grounded. Now, granted, obviously it gets a little squirrely in the end, but it's still a video game. But it was awesome. Oh yeah. And then Modern Warfare 2 just
went off the
rails. Yeah.
Like fucking Task Force Orange just running and gunning through fucking South America and all these other countries.
Yeah. And then it was doing all that shit.
The favelas.
It was awesome though. It was fun. The multiplayer was amazing.
Holy shit!
A blast though.
The 1812 shotgun.
Yep. Yeah, and like Also, by the way, playing the new Modern Warfare, the noob tube does not work.
No, that strategy's done.
I did. I was like, once I get my 203, I'm gonna fuck people up. Bah. And I did. I got it. I slapped it on my rifle. I haven't killed one person with it yet, and I'm like, you son. And I knew they did that for that reason, for the noob tubes.
Fuck, dude, that was my strategy back in the day.
That was. I had the I don't know what I used it with. Probably the Scar or something back in the day. And it was like that. It was always 2 noob tubes, so because you always had quick draw or whatever, quick reload, and then blast 2 of them, maybe get 1 more kill, and then you're dead. So I'd at least get 2 to 3 kills.
And then you gotta do the jump and then throw the frag.
Yeah, Semtex, noob tube, and then you're dead. Like that was my strategy. I think that was pretty much everybody's strategy back in the day. But it was just, you see like, and that's the other thing, Semtex, you always see like, bah, 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 like people are just fucking gone. That was awesome though. That's what I loved about the original multiplayer of that.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so in the new one, Piccadilly Circus, like I said, it gets kind of getting a little squirrely. Like it's based in realism, like the aspect of it, of
the size of the cell was just super nutso.
Yeah, it was nutso. But I always brought it back though. I was like, that's it's like you're drawn from real events. I mean, look at what is, I always want to say in France, the massacre at Bataclan. Is it Bataclan or whatever it was?
The newspaper.
No, that was Charlie Hebdo.
Oh yeah.
But what do you call it? It was the concert.
Oh,
in France.
And then there was the Ariana Grande one in London.
In London.
In like northern Britain,
something like that, yeah. But the Bataclan one, I believe in France, was like massive. Like it was kind of that same way. There were 3 hits.
Oh yeah.
And they weren't suicide bombers. There's only 1 or 2, or maybe there was a handful of suicide bombers.
And then it was the near ambush. And then complex ambush.
Yeah, and those guys just walked through and were
I remember now.
Everybody. And then they lived. They got away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
didn't they try and do a second one and then they got caught or something?
Well, no, they ended up getting caught in their caught in their safe house in an area that people knew where like terrorists were coming out of. Like it was like this kind of like a hood rat neighborhood, and they're like, oh yeah, that's where like terrorist sympathizers live. And so then like the video is nutso. Like they go in and like it's like out of a movie almost. Like they said they went in, like they're blasting their way into this apartment complex.
Yeah.
And then there was a female with a suicide bomber vest, and it ignited on her, and it blew up blew out the wall of the apartment. That. And so it just blows up, and it's actually like it's kind of like Jack Ryan. If you ever watched the John Krasinski,
I gotta finish
Amazon the first season.
Okay.
First season kind of covers that. Okay. So there's 2 seasons now, but the first season that like they go to France, and that's like almost kind of like how it happened. That's how they kind of cover it. Or at least the infiltration on the France part, but like the actual attack happened and it murdered like everybody in the concert hall, and then they had like I think it was 2 or 3 areas where they hit. So one was like machine guns, and they just like gunned people down, and then they lived. And then there's like a coffee shop that got hit with like a suicide bomber, and then there was like another spot that was hit with another bomber or another gunman, and then they all took off.
Yeah, and
nobody could do anything about it. Anybody that like, and they got out, I believe, and then they ended up finding the cell and then killing them.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's just a terrorist fucking bed. Europe is just fucked.
Yeah.
So one of the guys that got killed on my deployment, Christian Chandler, he was Bravo Company. He got in an ambush, and one of the guys who was involved, and possibly in one of the other killings on my deployment, he immigrated from Afghanistan to Germany.
Really?
And they caught his ass. I think they gave him a light sentence or something like that, but that's been going on for like a few years.
No. So the cell that hit when you ambush you guys, they tracked it back, or they?
Yep, they tracked him back from like some of the statements he was giving to the German government.
Oh no, shit! So it was like years later that he was like, I was in Afghanistan fighting the Americans or some shit. Yeah.
Yep.
And so he's in court in Germany.
Yeah, I don't know if they sentenced him. I believe that they did.
Yeah, it's good. Hope he burns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fucking burn alive, you piece of shit.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the other thing too, is like that was I think a lot of the guys that were I knew that were working in Afghanistan in either GRS or working with the clients and stuff like that, or they were like, yeah, we're done. Like my generation guys. In fact, I'm trying to see if I can get Jared Ackerman on. I'll have to shout out to Jared, J Bear. He has been. I met up with him right before the wedding. We were laughing our balls off. Like he was hoping he could make it, but he was like he's at the Target Center doing security, and he was there for like here for like 5 days, and I was like, cool. Like met up for like 2 hours is all he had, and it was a blast catching up. But he's got some crazy stories because he's been in and out of that world since like last month, 2 months ago.
Oh,
you know, so like I got out of that world in fucking 2013, man. I've been out the game for a long time, or at least in the operational sense. I mean, guard, you can say what you will. I mean, I don't feel like Kuwait,
whatever.
I don't feel like in Kuwait I was a part of it again. You know, it was like
no, not at all. I just got to read intel
and that
reports, and that's like the closest you get to touching it again.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so, but they were just kind of like, he even says it too. Like he was telling me, and I definitely want to talk to him again about it because it would dive into everything that we were talking about. Was basically our generation of guys are gone. He's like their standards are so low. They're like combat vets are like pretty much gone.
Yeah.
And they don't want to pay, you know, and it's just like the fuck, you know. And then also we were at the same time we're getting older, man. We're like fucking I'm 32.
I'm 27.
Yeah, and so guys are getting older regardless. And like you're younger where even if you join right away or if you got out back in 17. So like by that time contracting was really on the downside. I got out contracting was on the upside, and then within a year it fucking hit the downside. It was going down. So within 2-3 years, it was like, and so some of the guys that have stuck it out for these years, like you even have friends stateside and doing stuff, talking with them. It's like, you know, I mean, like we're old enough. We're not young anymore where you can like do that and you know, whatever. Like it's done. At least, you know,
Till the next fucking shitstorm.
Yeah, till the next shitstorm. Because we knew guys that were like in their 40s, 50s that were like, yeah, I was in Desert Storm and then I contracted and then I was in the beginning of Afghan invasion. It was like 2013, 20 some years later.
Yeah.
And they're like contracting for the CIA and you're like, maybe. maybe get squirrely in the next, 10 years, 15 years. Like, you need an old timer, you know? But, yeah. So anyways, so Piccadilly Circus was like pretty based on almost real events. Like that was pretty cool.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, that was a good one. And then like I didn't do the follow-on mission, so like I gotta play it. I was like, part of me was like, I want to play this out last night, but I couldn't. And I'm like, so I can just talk with Griebs about it like today. But like the proxy war, I got to the proxy war with the drones, which was also real, by the way. That's where I stopped. Yeah. That's where I stopped because I haven't been able to play.
Were they trying to overtake the Russian?
Yeah,
camp?
but they're throwing drones into the
helicopters,
dude.
And stuff
and
like
that's
that.
I was like, that's straight out of what's going on.
Oh yeah, that's the playbook.
Yeah, they won't blow up helicopters; they just dismantle them.
Yeah, just fuck them up and cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and the guys that have said they've done that, it's not so much that they don't even really damage the vehicle, but or damage the helicopters, but it's the fact that they have like it has gone off over and they can't trust it. Like they need to be at 100% before they take off.
Yep.
And so they ground them for safety. So it's almost more
for
of like
a full inspection.
Yeah, for a full inspection. So it's not even like it may not even be that much damage, but they can't fly it because it's
still an asset that's out.
It's an asset, yeah. So you're dismantling assets literally because of an SOP handbook.
Yep.
You know, and it's like you can't. It's any simpler than
fucking
like
government.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, we can't fly it because a bomb went off next to us. Like, well, we're in combat, son, so that thing better be fucking up and running. You know, with like bullet holes in it.
Yeah.
But they don't. They ground them. So, but yeah. But yeah, so I saw that, and that's where I stopped playing.
Yeah, so it was Piccadilly, and then it went to the Syria Kurds, and then it went back to the house raid.
Go to the Kurds?
So after the Piccadilly, it went to the Syrian Kurds for like the little infill mission or whatever.
Oh, the one where you're walking around?
Yeah, you're walking around.
You get the actual, like, the suppressor fucking...
Yeah, the oil can suppressor.
Yeah.
And then it hops back to London for the house raid.
Okay, I haven't got back to the house raid yet.
Okay, so then they do a house raid.
Which I've heard is amazing.
Downtown London, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
See, I gotta play that level.
I like to replay the London ones, because those are just like, yes.
Yeah, I'll have to play that one. God damn, I gotta play it. No, yeah, that's the scene that they released to the public before they launched, and everybody's like, "This is gonna be amazing."
Yep.
It was actually kind of nice to go back to Modern Warfare. I was super excited. Like, I was telling everybody, I was like, God, I hate the new.
Oh yeah, the Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, where there's no campaign.
Yeah, it was garbage.
No, fuck that.
I remember when they released Black Ops 2, I thought it was a joke because there was like mechanized like robots in it.
Oh yeah.
And they're like Black Ops 2, and I'm like, this is a joke. And the graphics look like shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then I was like, no, this is a joke. And then I like had to research it. I was in Afghanistan, and I was like, oh shit, this is the game. And dude, I refused to play it. I was like, absolutely not. I was like, you went from the fucking best. I think one of the best Call of Duties ever made.
Yeah, Black Ops.
Holy
shit.
Oh my God. Like, amazing.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy, but it was a amazing throwback.
I wish.
And then it had the zombie maps where like the whole
zombie was
encompassing.
fucking nuts.
Everything was amazing. Like, it was so good, like on all cylinders.
I was just happy that they did Vietnam.
Yeah.
And then MACV-SOG.
Yeah.
They got repped. And then it went off the rails. Like, I just want one that's MACV-SOG, Vietnam, the Hmong, like, proxy war into Thailand and shit like that. Like, you don't have to go off the rails. Like, there's enough in reality that you can go off the rails and be like, yeah, this actually happened.
Yeah, and it's fucking nuts. Like, yeah, exactly. I don't know why. Like, I don't know if just nobody knows anything about Korea, but like, I read a few books on Korea.
Yeah,
and
the
like Forgotten War, and you're like, you could make a good game out of Korea.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And but yeah, even with like, the Black Ops, like with, like, and I know they only had one level in the Soviet-Afghan War.
Yeah.
And Black Ops 2.
When you're running on the horses.
And then like you get betrayed. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Black Ops was amazing. I was like, and then like the gameplay, the whole gamut was just like, they had like Ice Cube, they had like all the celebrities were in it, and you're like, oh, dude, that's when they knew that like Call of Duty was like a powerhouse.
It was the money.
It was the money maker. They had they got that amazing actor. I'm blanking on his name. He was
the voice of who you're playing.
The Russian. No, it was him too. He was an Avatar. That was
the Avatar. Sam something.
Sam Worthington.
Yeah, Worthington
Had Ice Cube. Sam Worthington as the main, which was great.
Yeah.
And then they even had not Ed Helms. That's not the word. He was in The Rock. Oh, Ed Harris. I'm looking at him right now. Ed Harris. So he had Ed Harris, and then it has the English dude that's played like every accent, and he's in the Dark Knight. He's in Batman. He's the detective. Oh wow, I'm blanking on his name. And a super amazing actor.
Fifth Element. He was,
Gary Oldman. There you go. Yeah, Gary Oldman. Exactly. There you go. Yeah, Gary Oldman. And so he was doing like Russian accent. It was amazing, and like all these character actors. And so I don't know. Like that was like Modern Warfare was great. Modern Warfare 2 was fun to play on multiplayer, but Black Ops had everything, everything, and it was a trend. Like it was, the zombie trend was going hard. Like Walking Dead came out, so the zombie maps were out of control. They kept adding on better and better. And they even did a throwback to World at War. So then they had like the old World at War maps.
Oh, the Russian guy was in it too. I liked how they connected World at War to Black Ops.
Oh yeah,
storyline.
Yep.
I forget the name of the
Reznov.
Guy. Yeah, Reznov. Yeah. That was fucking awesome. Love Reznov. I remember getting to Fort Drum and dudes were just playing Black Ops at the CQ desk.
Oh yeah,
that was fucking awesome.
Yeah. No, So that's why I think going back to Modern Warfare, this new one is a big play, and I think they were getting so much hate, and their stuff was dropping. Battlefield is so buggy, but Battlefield at least like swings for the fences, and they're like, we know it's open warfare, we know our stories aren't that good, but we're gonna do. They did World War I and made it sexy.
Go for fucking broke.
Yeah, they go for broke, and it pays off.
Oh yeah.
They don't probably make as much money, or it isn't like the biggest, but they like it's enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
Like especially with the vehicle stuff, like, and now they got it. Like we got vehicles. There's a bigger map, but it's only a few maps, not every map. And
Ground War is fucking nuts.
Yeah, you got the shoot house. I've been doing shoot house a lot to build
shoot
up
house
my
24/7 is my shit.
Yeah, because that's just enough to get me like my player built up and like my weapons honed in, and then I'll do like a Ground War for fun to kind of and then that gets really big and you're like super frustrating.
Yeah.
But I've done the vehicles on that too, so that's a blast.
Yeah, it is.
Got like 10 kills, although it doesn't count towards your kill count.
Oh yeah, because it's like the 25% or the 25 points.
No, you'll get 100 for killing somebody, but you just don't get the kill.
Oh, okay.
So it's not you, it's the armor, or it's the, if you're using the main gun, it just doesn't count. Okay. Like it's like when you use your perk to kill people, it doesn't add to your kill count.
Okay.
So you have to kill people with your weapons, not with a kill. So if you kill like 10 people on your like airstrike, it doesn't count towards your kill count.
Okay.
So big nerd talk, I guess.
Yeah. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, Call of Duty.
But yeah, so I don't know. I gotta hop on that again. But or get through the campaign. So how does it actually all end?
So then they do the shoot house, and then it slowly goes to Syria and that conflict. So then you find out who stole the chemical weapons. You get into it you finish off the Russian guy that there's a subplot there where you kill like the main Russian general commander in the area.
Oh, okay.
And then at the end, Captain Price links up with the female CIA girl, and then he starts his task force 141, and he starts giving her profiles of like, hey, I want this person, this person, this person, and then it starts revealing like all the characters that they're bringing back from the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and they're bringing them into this. So I was super amped. Like they bring back Soap, the one guy that you work with in like the shoot house, and you play as in the Piccadilly, the Gazix.
Okay.
Sergeant Gazix. The
black dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Gaz. That's Gaz from the original.
Oh, no shit.
Yep. So that's what his nickname is Gaz.
Oh,
so
okay.
then they submerge that, and then you find out that it's him. Soap. They bring back the guy from Modern Warfare 2 with the skull mask.
Yeah, skull mask. I know what you're talking
forget
about.
the name that they give him, but he comes back into it.
Yeah.
And then they bring back the Arabian villain from the first one who sets off the nuke.
Oh, no shit.
So they bring him into it.
Assad.
Yeah, Assad.
Assad.
General Assad.
Yeah.
And then they bring back Zakayev, I believe.
Oh, so it's acting as a prequel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of a prequel.
So it's almost like they might redo it.
Oh, yeah, it's a complete reset, but with the characters that we love.
The same characters, so they might play out, but it's just going to play out
differently. Yeah.
See, I didn't like that's the like Modern Warfare 2 and 3 went off the rails. Like the JSOC commander like murders a bunch
General
of dudes.
Shepard.
Yeah, General Shepard just starts killing his own people. You're like, okay, let's like this is a bit redonk, you know. And then like he's starting his own proxy war, and I'm like, okay, get the fuck out of here. Like we gotta stop. Then it goes way off the rails.
Who are you taking this from? Fucking General Petraeus?
Yeah,
he's not murking people.
He's not murking people. On top of that, it's like he's like, we need more funding. I'm like, you have all the funding in the world, bud. Like we're not going anywhere. You know, like your funding might get cut, but you know, it's just you've been in the game long enough. That's ridiculous. Yeah,
you know the game. You're a politician at that point.
Yeah, exactly. You're at what was it, like a 2 or 3 star?
It was like a 4-star.
Yeah, it was a 4-star. Yeah. First of all, you wouldn't be on the ground like that either, which was hilarious.
Just rolling around with that thick ass mustache and fucking like dual revolvers like you're fucking Patton.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Holy shit.
That was ridiculous. But that's when it went off through. And then like Modern Warfare 3, you're fighting the Russians, and it was kind of like, I was like, I'm out, man. You're kind of it gets the battling through New York. You know, it's kind of a cool concept, but you're
the
like
war with Russia.
But it just seems like you have a series, and it's just kind of like it just. Not, you know,
just like with the Dark Knight series, people want it grounded.
Yeah, you want it grounded.
Yeah,
exactly. It just goes too far off the rails. Like Dark Knight really pushed it, kind of, and then Dark Knight Rises was like awful. Like to me, it was terrible. It was just almost unwatchable. Like it was so ridiculous. But like Modern Warfare 3, you're like, okay,
you're like chasing the one guy in fucking UAE up the tower and like blowing shit up.
Wasn't it like
you're in the Juggernaut suit
and you're just killing everybody? Which is like, okay, agreed. Yeah, you finally get him, and he's in Dubai, which is hilarious. It's like those are like
that's where all the fucking shady Afghans go to.
Shady ass fucking people end up in Dubai or like the Middle East region, something. Yeah, that's hilarious, especially Dubai.
Oh yeah,
because like shady shit happens all the time in Dubai.
All the shady shit happens there. I fucking love it.
Especially like business dealings and everything.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because there was it was the Israelis. I was actually like I missed it by a few days, and there was like some dude. Don't even remember. I'd have to Google the whole story again. It was a big story, and like in Dubai, you only have like a 6-hour window. Like when you land or if you're whatever it is, like to check into the hotel and do this all this stuff, you have a really limited window.
Before
it's by law. Yeah.
The feds start picking you up.
Well, not even that. It's like a rule that you can't stay in the airport longer than a certain amount of time. It was something weird like that. So it's a small little window. And I can't remember what specifically, but basically these people went in. There's this, I don't know if he was a terrorist leader or something like that, but he literally was there and they fucking murked him in the Dubai airport hotel. And left.
Fuck yeah.
Under whatever, disguised the whole gamut. Murked him, left, got out. Massive international incident. Pretty much tracked it to the Israelis.
Yeah, Mossad doing
Israelis are like,
ignorant shit.
Nah, it wasn't us. You know? And
can you prove it was us?
Yeah, can you prove it was us? No. Fuck off. Like, you know? And it's like, I was like, that's a gangster ass move.
Oh, dude. Always thugging, dude.
Yeah.
Deboing your shit every day, dude.
Israelis always thugging. Yeah, so they were like, anyway, but that's pretty common there. I mean, a lot of people bug out to Dubai, but yeah, they smoked this dude, and it was like all over the news. I remember it was like Military Times and like Army Times and all this shit. And I was like, dude, I was just there like a week ago. Like, I was like in the area, which is like fucking hilarious. So, and I remember like, oh yeah, you can't do that, you know, and whatever. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, moving on from that. So, what do you think of the Eddie Gallagher stuff going on? I know we have some opinions on this.
We went into some weird opinions.
Yeah.
Because you and me would read the report, and then there was just so many things like coming up that it was just, it's not just like one and done. It's a lot of things building up.
Yeah.
And even a grain of sand just piles up.
Yeah.
And these were from the SEALs. Mm-hmm. And then you and me started reading the stuff from the Green Berets that were working with them.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we're not working with this guy. Like, if he did it, he did it. I mean, I don't give a fuck. Like, fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, but then, like, when you're scalping people and, like, you're shooting innocents, like, am I down for, like, war crimes and stuff like that? Not really. I mean, cool to think about, and like, fuck everybody. We're just gonna kill everybody. But then it's like, no, you just killed some old dude. You just killed a kid, and they were saying like they're throwing off his scopes.
Oh yeah.
So he'd miss people, and then I forget. We read the Green Beret one where they went on the objective, and he was doing some crazy shit. So then they pushed him out of the AO.
Yeah.
To like Bagram, and then another SF like colonel or something like pushed them even further out of country.
They've shipped them back.
Yeah, like that's just not a one and done incident. Like there's a profile.
Yeah. That's, I think that was pretty much like the takeaway, and the whole thing like politically too. Like they're trying to burn him, and like the dude, was he not Team 6 or was he?
He was.
Because I remember I thought he was Team 6, and then they were saying no, he wasn't.
Was he like Team 3 or something?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Maybe
I know he
I'm
wasn't
wrong.
6 though.
He wasn't 6.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't 6.
Okay, but he was in the operations like through. And like, granted, I'm sure the SEALs were like regular teams are out there.
Yeah.
Because there was like, and I remember the incident that was they were saying like obviously when he like killed the kid, it was very like I get it, like people do not to that extent. By no means. I knew never about anybody that ever did that, but like we have some funny ass stories with like guys that blown themselves up.
Oh,
and, like, dude, some hilarious shit. Like we've had like fingers inside of like we took an AK that was all mangled, and we're like, oh, this is cool because a suicide bomber went off. Like I was getting sprinkled with body parts during this firefight that was happening, and then like after it was done, we're like, oh, here's an AK that's all fucked up. Let's keep it. And we found there was a fucking finger. You know, and we're like, we gotta get out of here because that's gross. It's like diseases and shit.
Not trying to catch whatever this guy has.
Exactly.
And then flies.
My buddies had some hilarious stories. Like, actually, it was my buddy for the wedding. We were telling war stories after the wedding. Actually, that next day, and we were at Kiernan's for like 6 hours, bullshit, and having beers and like hungover. And he was telling me one. I gotta get him on and tell him or just record it because it was fucking hilarious. And there's this guy, they're on patrol, and these suicide bombers like went off, and obviously the head pops off for the suicide bombers. You know, like that's how they. If anybody's not knowing. That's how they pay them, like the families. Is they did it properly. The heads pop off because of the pressure of the blast. So if they pushes the head up. So if their head dislocates and it's full intact, they know that they properly opened their arms and blew up and all this other shit. So they found a dude, and it was they're on patrol. They're like looking over the fucking remnants of this, and like his team leader goes over to like one of the heads, and it still had the spine attached to it. And, like, my buddy's walking around. He's like, "Hey, check this out." It's like some southern boy goes. He looks out, and he's holding the head with the spinal column, and he goes, "Finish him." And everybody's like, "What the fuck?" But laughing at the same time. They're also like, "Put that shit down. That's a dude's fucking head." You know what I mean? Like, they were laughing their balls off, and I was pissing myself laughing in the bar.
Oh fuck yeah!
Because of fucked up. But so there's like that type of stuff, and then there was the stuff that's like what Gallagher was doing, and we've like, and by all means, we've heard this too. We relieved a few units in Iraq that we had heard from their guys. So in sniper teams, and snipers are always like, we're in our own little class, so it's kind of like, you know, we're on our own, you know, we see everything's going on. So sometimes some snipers, like Marine snipers and like in the units that we worked with, sometimes they fucking start getting a little squirrely. and doing the same thing kind of Gallagher was doing.
I remember telling you the IED story.
Oh yeah,
that one was fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing that happened. Like I know that one.
Yeah.
And if you want, we can cover that. I mean, actually,
he was my buddy that just recently killed himself.
That's right. Yeah.
So I can't implicate him on shit.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah. But yeah, so actually, yeah, you could, if you want, you could tell that story if you want to.
Yeah. So I worked at Bill's Gun Shop and Range, and I worked with one of my buddies. He was an older Marine, and he was in Afghanistan, and he was an engineer, and scouts came up to him, and they're like, hey, can you build us like a faux IED so we can emplace it and do training and stuff like that? And he's like, yeah, I can do that, absolutely. So he does it, hands it off to him, thinking they're just going to use it for training, like a dummy thing or whatever. They ask him to go out on patrol. He goes out with them to some LPOP.
It's cool, yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, cool, whatever. So
guys would do that with us
they're
too.
at the hide site or whatever.
Yeah.
And then one of the snipers just fucking murks a guy. Just cold blood, like some old dude from what he told me, just kills him. Just kills some old guy. Like, didn't have a weapon or anything, no PID, nothing.
Yeah.
They just go to the body, and then they open up one of the packs and drop the fucking faux IED that he had made. And they're like, bro. He's like, bro, what? Like, you're going to use this as an implication to fucking kill this guy? No, that's just fucking murder. You just murdered this guy for no reason, and you're just trying to do a drop IED, like a drop weapon on this motherfucker. And they got back to base. He's like, hey, I'm not going to rat you guys out, but if anything ever comes out, all you guys are fucking dunskies because I'm not going down for this. Yeah. And that's just like weird shit that people do, like just to get a kill. Like,
well, there was a guy, speaking of that, so that's what I wanted to tell that one, because there was a guy, we were leaving 2-7, and one of the sergeants was like, we were talking with him, this is like we had just gotten there, and so we were all talking, getting intel on the area, and they were no shit. He was like, yeah, there's one dude that was in their platoon. And at the time, it was like, when we got all their after actions 2-7, they were smoking people. Like, there's crazy shit going on. And we were in the Garma, Fallujah provinces. So that's where, like, fuck, we're going to Fallujah province. Like, we're going to get a kill, like, get a solid kill in the first, like, week and a half. And our instructor in sniper school knew that we were going. He's like, if you don't get a fucking kill in the first week, you're doing something wrong. And we're like, oh, shit, this is going to be awesome. So we ended up going, and then we were getting all the after actions, and then kind of learning from. He's like, yeah, they had one dude in their platoon, and like they were getting kills. This one team, they're like, why are these guys getting more kills than us? And they got a few. Like I said, everybody was getting kills. Like it was like justified IED emplacements, the whole gamut. And they went out with them, so they did a joint mission with like one or two other. I think it was like 3 teams total. And this guy was telling us, he's like, yeah. So we were like sitting there, we're glassing these people, and this guy, and he's like, hey, he's got a weapon on him, or appears to be a weapon, and obviously more eyes are on it. They're like, no, there's not.
I'm like, bro, I don't see
that. They're like,
that.
That's a weapon, and they're like, no, it's not, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, no, he doesn't have a weapon. So that like the team leaders start arguing with this guy, and they're like, that's not a fucking weapon. You're not taking a shot. He's like, I'm going to take the shot. He looks like he's got a weapon, and literally they're like, no, you're not fucking doing it.
Your ass is on the line.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Like, yeah, they're like, you're not doing it. And so they end up coming back, and the whole thing, they're like, because they had already been suspicious of him, like killing people, or like killing people that shouldn't have been killed, or like he was suspicious, so he killed them, and so they're like, you're fucking gone, and they just kicked him out of the platoon, like midway through deployment. You're like, you're gone. So they got rid of him, but they had issues like that. I mean, like every unit somewhat has issues. like that.
And it's always like the scouts and stuff like that.
Well, it's because they're on your own. Yeah, and on top of that, you're the only one through the scope. So that's like with us, like we have to, even on justified kills, you have to make sure that you cover your ass, like because they're gonna come after you.
Oh yeah.
And then back in the day, you have to make sure that everything, like our logbook was our saving grace.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's your lifeline.
That's your lifeline. So that's like you have to write everything down correctly at what times, because if you don't, then if they start charging you, or they're going to try to go after you, but you have to, you don't have a backup. It's all hearsay.
No, that happened with the scout platoon I got put into, because I got there just as they got back from deployment, and they all got disbanded, except for my one buddy, Jabalera. And I don't know the full story. I'd have to ask him, but yeah, they got disbanded, and then they just pulled everybody from the battalion to reorganize it. And so it was probably one of those.
It's one of those deals.
It was one of those things too.
Yeah. It's kind of like, all right, you guys a little crazy, or you're fucking. You know, it's not war crimes, whether you're getting on the real fucking.
Yeah, you're
edge.
on the fringe.
You're on the fringe, like you are in that gray area, and But with the Eddie Gallagher thing, like it seemed everything that's coming out, and the only thing that obviously it's like I said, you see the SEAL community not backing him up, and you see a lot of stuff happening, and they're like people aren't backing him, other than like some T-shirt companies that like I don't think they know it, and I believe Trump just pardoned him because I know there's a meme going around with Michael Scott. He's like, it says like, you know, when you're out there and you could have smoked everybody and whateut consequence, whatever. And now
that's a meme now.
Yeah, meme now. But yeah, so you know, they're you know, he pardoned them. Clearly, that's just all about social media at this point. And you're kind of like, all right, you know, what is what it is. But at the same time, you're kind of like, a lot of people are, you know, like that whole thing with him. It's like, dude, if you were, you know, like even if one of these stories were true, you don't fucking operate like you wouldn't. I want to touch that guy with a 10-foot fucking pole, you know, like, and that's why it's like then when the Green Berets say something like that, a whole team comes up and like, we didn't realize it was that big. You know, we got him out. And then this whole thing blows up, and they finally start talking. And they're like, "Yeah, this guy's a fucking piece of shit."
Yeah.
Like, and it's not just one or two dudes; it's the entire team.
Yeah.
And then like a commander,
you got
like,
ODAs.
ODAs, like they're like, get him the fuck out. You know, like, you know. And then obviously the stuff that happened on ground, like the threat, like he was threatening people, like the whole gamut, dude. You know, and you can tell definitely too that like because his officer or whoever's in charge, his platoon commander got fucking hemmed up.
Yeah, because they were threatening him too, weren't they?
Well, they hemmed him up for like unbecoming an officer or something like that. That's typically what they just hem him up for.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so that whole thing with Gallagher was just like
fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. At the same time, that dude just needs to shut the fuck up. He used to realize that he got the biggest mulligan of his life.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because I think honestly, like even if he was like in his head, he thought he was doing or whatever, or even if he was just fucking with a body. Yeah. Like, dude, the Marines that pissed on the Taliban,
Dunskies.
They were done. They got dishonorable. They got fucking crucified by the fucking Marine Corps. Dude killed himself.
Who was that? I forget the YouTuber, but he was a MARSOC guy, and he always brings it to like a Fox company in MARSOC, and they got fucked over, like saying they were murdering people.
Oh yeah,
and the Marine Corps still won't like give them their due.
That was a MARSOC team, and I knew my buddy knew guys on that, and my buddy was actually supposed to meet up with him that day.
Oh, Herman?
Yeah, no, it was Luke.
Oh,
yeah, Luke and wow. Totally blanking right now. Luke was supposed to meet up with him when he was on the ETT prior to us. He was like, yeah, we were supposed to link up with him. Spratzov, who went to MARSOC sadly and was killed in southern Afghanistan in 2011. But they were going to meet up with him. They're like, hey, another Marine's in the AO.
Yeah.
Marines aren't in the AO in Afghanistan. They're super rare, especially at that time. The Marines weren't even in Afghanistan. So it was like the fact there was Marines there, like they just linked up, but they were going to. And then all that shit happened. That ambush happened. And they got clear, or they wanted to crucify him.
Yeah. It was like a clearing under the table. They never overtly said, hey, these guys are completely clear of everything.
Yep. And the thing was the JAG lawyers went after them, and they took the words of all the elders, and they're like, they're like, it was an ambush, all this happened. They're like, oh, they killed all those people, and they found out like hardly anybody was killed because they got in the ambush, they shot their way out, and then like the Afghans were saying like so many people died, and then the JAG took their word for it.
Good job, JAG. Fuck you.
Yeah, and so it was just like, and then they were like, oh yeah, that didn't happen because after they did the investigation, so it was just like. And years. It took them years to clear him. Yeah. And I can't remember. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Nick something.
Yeah.
I always see him on YouTube, and he always talks about it. So throw out to that. So Marine Corps, get your shit together.
Yeah. Well, that MARSOC is like a love-hate with the Marine Corps. And like, I think it's awesome that the MARSOC was finally formed and they finally went that direction, but it definitely needs to find its feet. It's just like anything. And guys in MARSOC and guys that were thinking about trying out, a good friend of mine, Murphy, was going to try out, and he knew a guy that came from there, and he's like, hey man, like you need another war before you hop in again, because it's starting to get stupid again.
Yeah, you get the fucking garrison commanders in.
And that's Marine Corps though, and that's the biggest issue when they formed it in 06. I mean, it's only 13 years old. Yeah. Green Berets been around for like 50 years, so and they don't fuck with them even during garrison times, so I think it's just that it needs to find its footing,
Yeah.
which is totally cool. But I'm glad they at least have their own little spot. But they've been kind of rough. It's been rough going because it's so few and everything just gets amplified because they're so small, and whatnot. But yeah, the whole that whole incident. Where was I going with that?
So we did Eddie Gallagher.
Yeah. So yeah.
We kind of lost track on that one.
Track on that one.
It was Green Berets corroborating with what was going on with Eddie Gallagher.
Yeah.
War crimes.
Because but the Green Berets, like when you can kind of take their word more for it. That, especially if the team's coming out and like, hey, this guy was doing some shady shit. Like I said, we've all seen people like on riding those lines, like especially in combat and warfare. Like it starts getting blurred very quickly, very fast, and it's very like I've always erred on the side of. Of safety, obviously. You know, like it's like, or like we were always trained, like cover your ass, make sure your story's straight. And we always did. We got into a firefight. Everything was always good to go. Yeah. But I've been in some situations too where you're like, dudes are fucking tweaked or they're snapped and they're not making right decisions. You have to fucking get them out of there or you have to fucking stop everything blatantly right then and there. Like everything comes to a halt because they will do something that's going to either murder somebody, a war crime, or you're going to get implicated with them.
No, yeah. My platoon sergeant wouldn't let us take our GoPros out on patrol and shit like that. So Sergeant Davenport, you fucked us on some videos, but I mean, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know because then that's gonna come. Like I said, the guy that wasn't even the platoon that released the guy's pissing on the Taliban body. It was like some other fucking kid that managed to get a hold of it. He was like, "Oh, this is funny," and then he posted it. Some fucking like other kid in a different platoon, and it all hell breaks loose. You know what I mean? So you're like, yeah, and now you're fighting for your life. And like I said, that dude offed himself. So you go from that, oh, that's what that was the train of thought. So the Taliban, them pissing on the Taliban bodies, but then you have like Gallagher, like, I mean, like they're getting knife kills. That was another thing that I had been reading before.
Yeah,
Gallagher.
I wanted a fucking boonie kill.
Yeah, they were like that was a thing in that. There's like an article that came out too. They were talking about getting their knife kills. I'm like, you don't get knife kills. Like if you're I don't care who you are. Like you can be fucking dev group, whatever the fuck. You're not getting knife kills, man. This isn't a goddamn video game.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing knife kills, like blatantly, like or you brag about it, and you're creating situations like that, that means that's not supposed to be happening. Yeah. You should have put a bullet.
You're overtly looking.
And there's no instance that you need to do that.
Yeah. There's like those few and far between. The hatchets is a huge fucking
That
thing.
Was the big one that dev group was doing, or whatever the fuck it was. Team 6, they were talking about how there was a whole hatchet culture.
Yeah.
And they wanted to like fucking hatchet somebody.
Hatchets, scalps, and all
like,
the fucking weird shit.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like, and you think about guys that have gone hand to hand aren't fucking special operations dudes. They're fucking infantry dudes going through like Battle of Fallujah or like Meyer or like the guy that did the Battle of Fallujah, he just got the Medal of Honor. Like he like beat a dude to death. And he still didn't stab him to death. They were blunt force like beating the fuck out of each other.
Butt stock to the fucking face.
Yeah, butt stock, like guys in helmet. I remember 2-7, they said that they went fixed bayonets at one point.
Yep.
No one does that because they want to.
No.
When it comes to the knife game, or when it comes to that, you are in dire straits.
Oh, yeah.
So if anybody's bragging to you about, they're like, yeah, we got a knife kill, they're fucking full of shit.
Yeah.
Or they're like, yeah, we do hatchet. Yeah, that's pretty common. Like, no, it's
Some
not
fucking
common.
sick puppies, dude.
Yeah, dude. And like I said, if it comes that, like, it's cool you have a hatchet.
Yeah.
By all means, it's cool.
Yeah. Roll
if you manage to get a hatchet kill in the middle of like the craziest battle, you're out of ammo.
Yeah.
Shit's gone wild. But
go for it.
But like if you're like, yeah, man, like the whole platoon's
I'm really searching for my knife kill, man. This deployment, I'm really hoping to get it.
Yeah, I'll be really, that'll be me. Like I'll have my hatchet.
I don't think I'm even gonna wipe off the blood. I'm just gonna mount it like that.
Yeah, that whole like culture, that's ridiculous.
That's like all over soft right now because I was reading articles about Australian SAS. Like they're having a whole thing about that as well.
I'm sure people are diving into it. I mean, like granted, like said, shit gets crazy in war. Yeah. There's some cultures like, and there's some cool stuff that
there's the fine line.
There's a fine line,
and a lot of military knows where that line is.
Yeah, exactly.
News reporters, I don't think they do.
No, not at all. No. Like I said, the guy picking up the head and saying, finish him. Like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And they were like, when they're like, they re-enlisted next to his body, like, part of me was like, that's fine. Like,
I was
fine.
Like,
yeah, okay. Like,
that's within our parameters.
Yeah, that's within the parameters. Like, if you got some kills and I'm like, check this dude, like, totally, if I saw a Taliban guy that I blasted and I'm like, yeah, this is the guy that I fucking smoked, you're damn right I'm taking I'm taking a picture.
Yeah.
Like, So that's not out of the realm.
No.
Yeah, and some people are like, "Can you believe you did that?" I was like, "Yeah, that's completely normal." Like, yeah, like
it's not crazy.
That's not crazy. Yeah. So, but like, yeah, because we watch like videos of, like the dudes murking dudes from the air. Like everybody loves those videos. Why would you not want to get like a photo of the dude just smoked through your scope? Like, so, but the other stuff though, like he said, he like killed it. Like the kid was good to go. He's a fighter, obviously. He was an ISIS fighter. I get it. But at the same time, like he went up, like the corpsman like fixed him up, and then he fucking just plunged his knife down into him. You're like, all right, dude.
I don't know if the corpsman kind of corroborated his story or something like that, but I think
something was starting to go squirrely, and that's where everything was. And then also too, the Navy JAG,
they were all fucked up.
They were fucked up as well. So not only is Gallagher fucked up, you have the JAG lawyers fucking shit up,
searching for cases to make their name.
Well, that they also used a program they weren't supposed to use, so everything that they found on him is deemed not admissible. So like you could find him murdering somebody, but the way they found it, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
So it's like, so you fucked your whole case.
Yeah.
So that's just Jag being shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but whatever. Anyways, let's just cover that subject.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we'll switch it over to CFT. What do you think?
CFT?
Yeah.
What?
The Army CFT.
The CFT. Oh shit. Yeah. The ACFT.
ACFT.
Yeah.
I saw the Marine Corps. We call it the CFT.
I was like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Army's got to put the A in front of everything.
Yeah. Army.
Yeah.
I'm in favor of it. It seems interesting. I wish they would have thrown in some pull-ups on that shit too.
Well, they kind of did with that one thing.
Yeah, but that's like an ab thing. That's more of like an ab strength, isn't it?
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. But you always got to do the fucking pull-ups.
Yeah.
But
they kind of do it halfway. Like you don't go all the way up. You just have to be like 90 degrees on your arm or whatever the fuck.
It's gonna weed a lot of fucking people out.
That is very true. I remember when we talked to Charlie. Talking to Charlie about it, I'm a little more for it now. Like I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, you definitely do have to train for it. But the way I like what he said though, he's like, you got to train year round for, or you have to, you know, like it keeps you in shape. I'm like, you know what? I kind of like that. Like I do. I think the issue to it though is that it's almost, you know, like it's almost too much. I know, like, but I'm at the same time, like, I feel like that's good for active duty units. But I think
it's gonna be huge for active.
Active infantry units, I'm totally game for. Beyond that, I don't know. And I get it. You're in the Army, and I told people like, hey, everybody's got. I get it, but they're not fucking ground pounders, man.
Yeah.
I always come back to. They're not ground pounders. Ground pounders are the only ones that need to be fucking ready to rock and roll.
And then give them more money.
Yeah.
Give them more incentives. Give them their own budget, like we talk about.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like ground pounders should get more money, more incentives, but their standards are so much higher. Where it's like almost reverse. It's like the standards are lower, but you get way more money, more because it's obviously.
I don't want
smaller.
that fucking admin.
Because
E6.
admin doesn't have to do that, and which they shouldn't. But they shouldn't also be getting all the money, all the funding.
No.
You know, granted, I get the whole logistics part of it. But still though,
throw some extra money to the infantry, give us some fucking love.
Yeah, exactly. Like there should be standard reenlistment procedures, like standard 20 grand, like a standard 30,000. Doesn't matter if you're E3, E1, whatever, you know, or whatever. Granted, if you're qualified, but if you were thinking about reenlisting after your 3 years or 4 years, there should be a standard. You sign papers. There's always 30 grand. Never, no matter what. If there's bonuses or no bonuses, there should always
nobody going fucking hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or at least it'll be like, hey man, I got the 3 years, another 3 years, two even an extension. 2 years, 20 grand.
Yeah.
You know, like all right, I'll do another one. I'll guarantee get another 20 grand, so it'll kind of be boosty. 2 years.
Yeah.
All right, I can do 2 years. We'll see where it goes.
Hey, that infantry fucking private that just got in, let him stay in the barracks for a little bit, but once he makes that E3, E4, let him fucking stay on post housing. Get him the fuck out of the barracks.
Yeah,
I mean, just little incentives just keep us around because all of the fucking Americans are fat.
Yeah.
Keep us around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the other thing, too, is like I said, like I think it's great for the infantry and I think it's great for combat arms. I don't think it should be applied, but again, then there should be incentives for the infantry for it to be applied.
Yep.
So... Because I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I definitely need to train for it. Like, I was like, all right, I need to really, like, it's not even the run anymore or whatever else.
It's everything.
It's everything else. So, like, the run, you don't even have to worry about time anymore.
No, it's like 19 minutes.
So it's like, all right, so so you'll just run after everything. But you're tired. But at the same time, now you're like, all right, I got to do this, and that, you know, and now it's like, we're already passing anyways. Our PFTs don't really matter much unless you're going to a school. But Which is going to be really interesting how they fucking...
For schools.
For schools now, it's crazy because it's like, now we take a PFT 30 days before you go to school. When are they going to take a CFT?
Yeah.
Are they going to run one every month on a certain date? What if you can't make that
The
date?
logistics is fucking nuts.
Yeah, especially like National Guard. Like, so then do we run it? Do I have to like go down to an armory and set a whole date and then do, which is fine, but most people can't do that. So it's kind of be like, where does that?
Yeah, division will have to come out like every month at this certain location.
There's
There's always the first of the month.
Yeah.
There's always one.
Yeah,
Blah, blah,
yeah.
blah.
Well, I mean, you think about division is like the most guilty. Oh, I'm sure any other headquarters unit, not just division, but people are going to be like, oh, I missed this month. Guess I'll have to wait a year. Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, I'll push it the next month. It's like, no, you can't. No, you're not.
You want that promotion?
Yeah, you want that? Yeah, exactly. So, but I don't know, I guess we'll see. But we'll see how kind of that all unfolds. But yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, I like it. I like that aspect because you do have to train for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of like, all right, like I feel like for the rest of the Army, like it's gonna go away though. Honestly,
I think it's gonna disappear.
I 100% feel like it's gonna disappear in the next 3 years.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it's not a secondary thing. Like they're keeping the APFT.
Yeah, that's the primary.
It's the fact that they're taking away the APFT and they're making sure that the ACFT, that's it. Whereas the Marine Corps, they kept the old PFT, and then there's a combat fitness test, the CFT, that adds points as well. So it's kind of like a secondary.
Oh yeah,
it's not
supplementary.
It's supplementary. So you have to do both, but the CFT isn't like gonna make or break you. They just want to make sure you can do shit.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Army's getting rid of their old shit, which like I said, man, people get old, people get slow, people get fat, life happens, and you're gonna expect the fucking Guard and the reserves to
All
fucking
the old
adhere.
broken people that know how the system works.
Yeah. The other thing too, you're gonna start making people do deadlifts.
Yeah.
Dude, they're gonna start fucking.
You better give people fucking classes
Yeah.
or make everybody a fucking physician's assistant, like so they know.
Well, the VA is gonna fucking have a heyday.
Yeah, they're
The
gonna
amount
make
of
a lot of
medical
money.
retirements, dude, you could legitimately blow your back out or fake that you blow your back out, and suddenly there's gonna be a shitload of medical retirements.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, like you said, though, how do you train? Like, people don't know how to train with that. They're going to be lifting with their spines because they don't fucking know how to deadlift.
I lift with my back.
Yeah, exactly. Even with that new one where it's like square, it makes it a little easier. But even then, you still don't know how to properly do it. Yep. People are still going to be lifting with their backs, shoulders forward. It's going to fucking blow their shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not going to know that. And then, like, once a year someone shows them an example? Fuck that.
No.
And even if you can even get to a gym that has that. Like, there's gyms that straight up just
You got to supplement the guards' pay so they can pay for a fucking gym membership.
That's absolutely should, and they're not going to. I guarantee you.
Not at all.
No, they're going to be like, well, you should come into the Armory.
Drive 500 miles.
Yeah, exactly. So
Work at our shitty facility.
Yeah. Because I got to talk to Charlie. I don't know if they're outfitting each armory or if it's going to be at just at Ripley. So, yeah. Because I know.
Yeah, drive up Ripley every day.
Yeah.
2 hours. Perfect.
It's going to backfire on them big time. They'll spend the money just like the fucking ACU.
Yep.
Rock with it for like a few years, and then they're going to fucking kill the whole program.
Yeah, I remember I was going through basic when they were doing one of the pilot programs for a different PT test.
Oh, yeah.
And then they put the fucking kibosh on that real quick.
Yeah.
It'll be the same thing.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the Army makes those decisions. It's like, why do you have all this money to blow? And then you bitch about funding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you went and blew through all this money for fucking all the ACUs, switching all the colors over.
Yep.
It's like Marine Corps is fucking cheap as shit. So when they got the uniform, they were like, all right, this is our uniform, but our gear is tan. Because it goes with everything. Tan goes with green, and tan goes with the deserts. Our woodlands and deserts. You have two colors. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you're. And it works. Like we wear tan with our fucking multicam or with our OCPs.
Yep.
So
they know how to do more with little.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like Army's like, all right, we gotta switch everything over.
All this shit.
Yeah, all this shit. And you're like, whatever, man. Like, real combat. If you're doing, it's, I don't know. It's ridiculous. We'll see how it all pans out. But I honestly don't think it's gonna last very long.
No.
Yeah,
it won't.
Well, especially like Charlie was saying, like even like the failures or like they're just gonna. I don't know who, especially if you're like older, you're used to the APFT and you got little,
people like in that 17-year mark, they're broken. They've been really fucking beaten down.
Yeah. And now
so you're just gonna drop all of that knowledge.
Yeah. And then you're gonna make them run.
Who are you gonna replace them with?
Yeah.
The fucking fat kid that just fucking plays video games all day.
Like I said, I think they'll make it work. Like I said, active duty is much different.
Yeah.
And I expect young active duty guys to be fucking doing that stuff.
They'll be killing it.
Yeah, but the whole. The
guards, guard and reserve is a whole different animal.
Yeah, exactly. All right. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Got anything else?
Fuck.
Any other current events?
Other current events. The impeachment.
Oh, impeachment.
Yeah, the fucking impeachment. I mean, that's a whole fucking clusterfuck.
Yeah.
They're bringing up more and more information on like Hunter Biden and
Are they
that
really?
whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the timelines aren't working. I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
that was pretty interesting, but I
Yeah.
haven't delved too deep into it.
Okay.
I just watched like Tim Pool and shit like that.
Okay.
He's been bringing up some of that stuff.
Okay.
So
Shout out to Tim Pool.
Yeah, Tim Pool, we love you.
Yeah, let's like tag him in the YouTube.
Yeah.
video. Tim Pool.
Tim Pool.
What's up, bro? No, yeah, I saw that some of the impeachment, like it's not everything's like they don't have anything. It's all hearsay.
Yeah.
There's no evidence. It's very all political, obviously.
Yeah. Yep.
And everybody keeps asking my opinion. They're like, what do you think? I was like, honestly, he might get impeached by the Senate, which I think right. It's the Democrats hold the Senate.
Yeah, I
That's how
think so.
shitty I am of a citizen.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know fucking
We're really
idea.
fucked.
Yeah, I was like, I don't fucking know how this works. But I know that it's like they'll maybe impeach him to vote to impeach, but
Yeah.
and they can.
Yeah, they
and
can do it.
They'll say, yeah, we're impeaching him, and then it moves to the House, which
Yeah.
Republicans, and they're like, you're fucking done.
Yep.
And it's
They'll
over.
get shot down.
They'll get shot down. It's all political moves. Like, I think they would want to say it because they say, oh, he's impeached, but he's not getting
We
it.
impeached him.
We impeached him, but it doesn't matter because if once you get fully impeached, then you lose your powers.
Yep.
You lose executive powers. He won't ever lose anything.
No.
So it's just a label.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, like, all right.
They're going after. They're bringing up the Ukraine ambassador. I forget her name. What the ambassador's name is,
Oh,
but
the
she
UN
got
ambassador.
relieved.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah.
Ukraine
and she
ambassador,
wasn't
and
happy
now
about it.
she's doing like the testifying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there was a meme. It was her doing her testifying. It was Trump dismisses ambassador, and then it was Obama dismisses ambassador, and then it was the ambassador from Libya.
Yeah.
Like them dragging his dead corpse
Oh,
out.
oh, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, holy shit.
They did that at where? Or was it a meme?
It was a meme.
Oh, dude, I thought they
that was
brought
a
that
meme.
into Congress.
No, that'd be fucking crazy.
That's some like straight like, oh man, that's
some real
savage.
shenanigans.
That's a real savage if they did that.
Yeah.
Be like some senator like he did with the memes.
Yeah.
And then like boom, you'd be like, Jesus
Holy
Christ.
fuck.
Dude, shots fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. They I know she got relieved and she wasn't happy about it, but they don't have, it's all hearsay. It's all opinion based.
Yeah.
They're like, we feel, and it's like, well, you can feel all you want.
We got the transcript.
But we got it doesn't matter. Like, you're fine. Like, there's no, and like, I kind of agree. Like, it's ridiculous on both sides, whether you like Trump or not. Like, even people that are like anti-Trump or even other reporters, they're like, there's nothing here. Like, they know that there's nothing here.
Oh,
They're like, nothing's coming up. Like you don't expect, because they want him. They don't want him anyway, clearly. They're super anti-Trump. But even if you're anti-Trump, some anti-Trumpers are like, there's nothing here.
My English,
like, why are you? Yeah, like
my English teacher's like figure it out. Like, this has been going on for too long, and she's a little liberal.
Yeah.
Then she's even getting on the finite.
Well, even Amanda's that way. My wife, she was like, yeah, I don't think this is. I'm like, they can. She even brought it up. I was like, just random. She was like, what do you think? I was like, they don't have anything on them. I was like, hate them all you want, and do. There is no whatever.
They've got more on Biden and Hunter Biden.
Yeah, there's
than
a lot
anything.
more shady shit going on with him than there is with like Trump. Because a lot of stuff they're also bringing up too is the fact that like that's just politics 101, international politics, like tit for tat.
Yeah.
So now you're saying like basically, and then obviously there is blatant corruption, like there is like, but he's not saying that.
No.
So interpret it all you want, unless he crosses this line, which he hasn't.
Yeah.
It's always tit for tat for international politics, like always tit for tat. Like we give you this money if you give us this.
Pakistan, we're gonna give you all this money and you're gonna help us fight the Taliban and the Haqqani network.
Exactly. And then they fucking are like, well, we'll give you this if you give us that. And they're like, and it's always a game. It's always a game.
Yeah.
And I remember, that's always been that way. So I don't understand why people are like up in arms about. Granted, I know it's a lot of hysteria, but they're trying to make it something that it's not. And even the news, like people are like I don't even think people that like are super anti-Trump are like, we just need to drop this because this is going like get them on something else. Like I'm sure they're like move on to the next thing because this is not working.
You need to fight them policy wise, or you're not gonna win.
Yeah, and on top of that, you're just like I said, 2020 is gonna be a crazy year.
Holy fuck, it's gonna be.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy year because no one knows where it's going. No one knows who's gonna win. Who knows? He might have Biden as president because people are just like, we'd rather have him than Trump anymore. I could see people doing that too. Just playing a safe horse.
He's the safest.
He's the safest horse.
And
and I wouldn't be that mad. Like if I was like, whatever.
He was the most reasonable in the debate I saw.
Yeah.
Like, Elizabeth Warren was like, take the guns. He's like, no, there's processes we have to go through. I was like, go fucking Joe.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like creepy Uncle Joe.
Yeah, Bernie, you can give him props for what he stands for. He's consistent, but he's batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And like, say what you will about social, people are like, well, I was like, no, his whole programs are terrible.
Yeah, they're horrible.
They're terrible. They're the way they're like. You can agree how college with it. You can agree. I agree with him on a lot of things. I agree with, but not on
the method.
Method. Yeah,
method.
Exactly. Agree with the method. I agree with the message. I agree. Not the execution.
Yeah.
The execution is terrible. You're right. College is overexpensive. Kids shouldn't be paying for that. Yeah. Therefore,
pull the government out.
Yeah, pull the government. Yeah, but then he's like, well, then it should be free and we tax everybody. Fuck that. Absolutely not. You're horrible. Like, you got the problem, and I'm glad you're addressing it, but your execution is horrendous. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And and I think there's a bunch of other candidates that are, like I said, Biden. Like, if Biden won, I'd be like, whatever. Bernie wins, I'm a bit like, but I think though that he's been in long enough to know that he's not crazy. Or I'm sorry, he'll get reined back. Mm-hmm. And like, so you're like, okay, but I'd rather have just a Biden. At least Biden.
He's our best
You're
shot.
like, if people, I think everybody would ease up if Biden, like even Republicans would be like, all right, it's just Biden. It's Biden.
Who was the not Camille Harris? It was
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard. I liked her. She was pretty reasonable.
Yeah, she was all right
on certain things.
Yeah, on certain things. I think she's a bit off on some stuff,
Yeah.
but then at the same time, I think she's, and like I like Dan Crenshaw's take on her. He was like, yeah, we're friends. He's like, we talk. And
she's a good up and comer.
Yeah. He was like, look, we don't agree on everything, but we at least talk. And then he's like, her message on vets of them being victims. I was like, yeah, I agree with you. I think I think most vets need to get out of that mentality in general. Like, I think that it's been kind of like a poor me shit for a few years. And she plays that up, like, we didn't sign. I was like, no, that's exactly what we signed up for. Don't ever. And she's not a combat. Like, granted, she worked the surgical bay, which
the trauma bays.
Mad fucking props.
Yep.
And I completely see why she's anti-war, because if all you saw was dudes' legs blown off every day, absolutely.
Fuck this.
But she's not one to be making the calls on massive foreign policy.
Yep.
Like, I'm more qualified than that. Like, at least I knew counterinsurgencies and played it out. Like, she hasn't. So. But at least she's done her time. So everybody's mad respect for her for that. They're like, absolutely. Like, we have total respect for her opinion. Like, I do. Yep. Like, at least she did it. Yeah. If she was someone like her was saying something, I'd be like, you've never fucking done it, so you have no idea. Yeah. She, at least you can be like, yeah, we kind of, like, mutual respect there.
Yep.
But even with Nikki Haley, that's the one. She was the UN ambassador.
Oh, yeah.
She's So that's the one that Republicans really want to like get behind. But Trump still has another 4 years if he wins. They can't replace Biden with her. So they're kind of like, or not Biden, Pence.
Pence with her. Yeah.
So if she ran with him, I think it would be cool. But I think it's too much of a risk. Maybe. I don't know. She's fucking dope as shit, though.
Yeah, she was killing it in the UN.
She was killing it at the UN.
Dropping fucking bombs. Like, hey, this is how it's going to fucking go.
She went straight savage mode, which was gangster. Yeah, which was super amazing.
That's my kind of woman.
Yeah, absolutely. She was amazing. And they want to prop her up possibly for 2024.
Oh, yeah. She's our Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, I think she would. And like I said, like, I feel 2020 is so all over the place that I feel like I think we might get Biden or we might get Trump again. Like, I honestly feel like that's why people are running Biden, because honestly, he's the safe bet. Yeah. I think after all is said and done, they just want someone can win. I think Biden can win. Yeah. I think Warren will lose. Bernie will lose. They're too crazy, whereas Biden is slow and half out of the bag, or half in the bag, however you want to see it.
Yeah, whatever.
He's slow. He's not sharp. He's not there. But people would at least be happier with him than Trump. Yeah. That would be on the fence. Just because of
Warren's beating him in the polls.
It is, yeah.
Which is... Yeah. And Trump can beat Warren, so it's like...
Yeah. You're all over the map.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I don't mind. I'm like, whatever. If he wins, Trump wins, lose, I don't care at this point. I'm like, whatever. But it was a good ride. I'll give you that.
I'm hoping for 2020, but I can. Yeah. I'd be a little bit more comfortable with a Biden as my secondary.
Yeah, exactly. Like if Trump loses, then it's Biden. I'd be like, yeah, okay. Like
I'll take that loss.
Then you're back to politics as normal, where people are like in the comfort zone. Yep. Because you have like Trump, people are not comfort zone. You got Bernie and you have Warren, not in the comfort zone. Yeah, like not comfort zone. Biden, everybody's like in the comfort zone. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, we'll live with that. I mean, like I said, it is what it is. Life goes on, But like I said, the Democratic platform, like you've said, it's fucking crazy. Like all you had to do is not be crazy. Yep. and you're crazy. Like you just rein it in and you'll win the election, and you can't figure that out. Yep. It's like they're trying to out crazy each other.
Oh yeah, it's just nuts, pandering to this vocal minority.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Especially like said the whole Beto thing, and you're like,
fucking
that was
Beto.
cheered
and
at,
the Boogaloo Boys.
Yeah, and the DNC, like they cheered him. Like, dude, no one's like, even like a Democratic like Hunter's like, excuse me, like he votes Democrat, but he's a Southern boy or whatever. You'd be like, wait a minute, whoa, what? And you're cheering for this? Like
the burglar who's gonna come after my guns, and the fucking drunk driver.
Yeah,
I was actually kind of hoping he was gonna win, because
Beto?
then it'd be just like the Boogaloo memes, like it's on like fucking feeding that tree of liberty with fucking blood.
Yeah, like the ABC boys coming after you because of the meme.
Yeah.
The
federales coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was hilarious. I love that,
dude. That was fucking odd. Those are some creamy memes right there.
I know, right? We have to like. I think we'll have to do a meme sub.
Fuck, dude.
Sub. Yeah, I'm figuring this whole thing out. I guess we'll kind of wrap up and talk about just the podcast in general.
Yeah.
So like right now, like we'll start doing. There'll be screens, so I will have like those. I'll have my laptop here. And then,
so I can do like the
Joe
Rogan.
So we'll do like we'll
like
look like this. Yeah. So and then we're trying to work with. There's a software that sucks because I just ordered my new laptop and it's not coming until the 5th. But I'm like, okay, like, and that'll work. I mean, that laptop's a workhorse, but it's still like getting on its last leg, and I'm like, it's starting to struggle. And so I'm trying to screen grab or basically run the program so we can like do stuff like that, but I need to make sure it's synced with the videos because the way I have to do it. So I'm trying to see if I can audio sync it because I have to make sure that I think we can do it if I can input audio in and screenshot. It should sync the audio with the screen recording. So then I have to test that out.
Yeah, that's...
Because if I can do that, then we're fine. Because what it'll do is it'll sync to what we're talking. Because this is different from that, but that's how we all get it together. And then we can actually like look at stuff, and then I can sync it, and then we can, when I cut to it for the YouTube channel, you can see the memes, and we can like zoom in, and then like it'll all be synced together. So I can just cut to that, and I don't have to like try to post edit and add shit and see what we're talking about or whatever. Because that's a pain. Because
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, because even like right now, like even like. I'm gonna have to use this one. I don't want to use this camera all the time, the one that's on you, because that's a pretty high end. Yeah. But it's like it should give me one file, and that camera too should give me one file. But then we were working with a GH4, which is a different camera. It's Chuck's. Actually, it's my old one, and it gave me like it stops after every 4.6 gigs. It cuts it, and then it gives another. So everything's consistent. I just have 10 files. Got it. That one was 2. Only because I cut it, I was like, oh shit, that little camera will actually go. So that should have literally one like 100 gig file on it right now, or whatever we're wrapping up with. And that one should have the same one too. It should be one, because I'm trying to make it. It comes down to the point of you're not spending a lot of money, but it comes down to the point where I have to make sure it's streamlined. I put it on the computer, I sync it. I don't need 10 clips to sync. Like it has to go
fiddle fucking around for like 2 hours.
Rewatch this hour and a half and cut. But it's all multicam, so it's really easy. I just press a button. I'm like, cool. And once I get it where I want, I'll just be like, cool, rendered, it's out, it's done. Like, and there's nothing else to, like, otherwise you start getting way too intricate, and this thing has to be pumped out. Some categories doing 5 this week, editing them, and I'm hoping to start releasing Monday. Fuck yeah. So then it'll be twice a week, like content-wise. Yeah. Because I don't want to be like, oh, we're going to do that. I want to get them all, work on them like on Friday or Saturday. Or actually, I'll be gone, so Sunday, and then start releasing. And then I have to actually get the podcast itself is a whole it's a different it's different. It's just then getting that approved. So I have to get it approved through iTunes, which is not a big deal. It's just that they want to make sure the quality, like the quality,
it meets their quality.
It meets their quality standard, and it has to be certain whatever. So you just can't like throw it up on an MP3. So I have to make sure I have that. And Stiggs is coming on tomorrow, a buddy of mine locally. And he's been running for a year and a half, which is cool. Yeah. So I'm like, awesome. I can just ask him what he does.
Got the download.
Yeah, he like has on iTunes, Spotify. He does the whole thing. So he like does it every week, every 2. So like I like, all right, what do you do to get it up on fucking line? Yeah. So yeah, man. See how this all goes.
Yeah, get the process going.
I'm fucking stoked.
It's fucking awesome.
I know. I'm so happy. Like Amanda's like, oh, you got your thing. Yeah. So we're like, whatever. And like even with this, like it's like this. Ironically, of everything that I bought for this loan, like this is the cheapest thing. Was this, because this had to be, the audio had to be. I had to get something for filmmaking anyways. So like I literally have, actually the third pod mic should be here any minute now. And I have a third boom. And then I might end up getting a fourth one because this has 4 inlets. Yeah. And then that camera I was cheaper. Although I did buy it on the Amazon pay over 5 months just so I could just keep. I didn't have to pay the $500 out because I was like spending so much, draining right away. I was like, it'll easy, and I'm like, well, it gives me one file. I think I might get another one because it's super simple. Yeah. And then that's actually my cinema workhorse. So that's why I'm like trying to avoid using that
using it all the time.
Yeah. Or not so much. It's just the ProRes files are so big. Whereas like I just need a simple MP4. Okay. Like I don't need anything crazy codecs. This is just a video YouTube. This isn't like color grading and crazy shit. Like I just need, like in fact, it only come down to lighting and the camera lens. It's like I don't care about the fucking body of the camera. So we'll see how it all works out. But all right, bro.
Fuck.
That wraps up the first WarCast.
Boom. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's great having you on.